Hello. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Let's see. I just hit my microphone as I went to unmute. So if you if you heard some vibrations in the springs of the microphone arm, that's what it was. How's everyone doing? All right, so we are in session here. I got some coffee. I just quickly ate a protein bar. And I will do my best to remember to mute when I slurp the coffee. So this is the game. This is Legend of the Stones. If anyone has any questions, I know some of you may not see my streams too often if you're coming directly from the Game Dev Show and the Guild. Hello, Oliver. But if you have any questions about the game or how I'm doing things, feel free to ask. I love talking about it during these. Before the Game Dev Show this morning, I had pressed play and there was an error that was not there last night. Sometimes this happens and it's very frustrating because last night I thought I did some cool stuff and then all of a sudden there was error. So there's no error right now, so that's nice. But this is what I've been working on for the past couple of days, basically being able to shoot arrows. And so this character doesn't have a bow. You can see in the portraits down here, there's no bow. These two do, however, so I'm going to just tab and go over to this character. So now when I go over these, I can see we can target them, and as you get closer and closer, the targeting circle shrinks because technically your aim will change. So it goes up. I've set these values using the game modules. I set the values on my short bow to just be max target size of 5. I think it's actually going to need to be a bit bigger, so I'm just going to put it at 7. I had it at 10 and that was different. Oh, I also put some bad guys up here, so now you can shoot them up there. So the way this archery system works, oh yeah, I also got now the turn order working again. So when you attack, it goes to the next available player who has the next attack time, basically. And every action you do gives you a sort of tack or time that you can't do anything. So you see the red dot, green dot, and red dot. For the ones who don't have a bow, they're just defending. So it doesn't take long before they can do another action. But ones with a bow has that. So you can also go back and forth between the two. I need to modify the size of the circle by things like the accuracy of the player and whatnot. But the idea is that when you are far away from a bad guy, the circle will be quite big, and there you go. So the arrow will go somewhere in that vicinity, but it could be far off. So you might be well enough to save your arrows if they're really far away, or boost your accuracy skill, because if your accuracy is really high, then that would be really close. But then sometimes you'll hit them still. I also add the sound effect of the bow or that going. I don't have a bow sound. I have a bow sound, I think, but I haven't activated that yet. But every bow might have a slightly different sound. I still missed, probably. That one would have hit. Yeah, that one would have hit too. So now I'm really close, so most of them would hit. Yeah, so that's the system that I have been working on for the past few streams. This one's too far away.
Come on, we need to get closer.
So the system recognizes that the mouse is over a bad guy. If I click over here, nothing happens. But if I click a bad guy that's too far away,
come on, we need to get closer.
If only I were a little bit closer.
they say stuff just to indicate that. If I get really close, then we do melee, and so they'd all just be attacking with their melee weapons. Hi, Michael Murray. There's a draw time. Yes, Mo Moxie. I think he's the fellow who gave me some links to archery physics and other stuff, which is really interesting. I am trying to minimize the reality of this. especially with archery, now you can get into physics of like, well, every bow and the fletching on the bow and the tip and all these different things come into play. For this, like if you notice, this is of course you're not aiming. As long as I'm over this, then I can shoot, and the arrow is just choosing a random spot inside a sphere. So there's no dexterity. There's no player dexterity in the sense of if I aim at the head, I'm more likely to hit or anything like that. Nothing like that happens. Instead, it's just based on your stats, the enemy stats, and yes, each bow will have different values. So if I change the velocity, for instance, then the bow will be able to shoot from further away. The arrow will shoot faster too, and that might matter when we're in real time versus turn-based. But it might have a different accuracy value. Accuracy value, I think I might need to rename that. It's actually not accuracy value per se. It's actually the range away at which you're least accurate. So this min and max target size right here, 0.8. This is the radius. Is it the radius? No, it's not the radius. It's the diameter of the target's area. When you're as close as you can possibly be, it's going to be 0.8. And then you're as far as you can possibly be, it's going to be 7. And this is that value. When I'm 23 meters away, it will be at 7. And then there's a curve too. I think this is something that I'm eventually going to move to its own... to be on the bows, but the curve, let me find it real quick in my actions thing. So there's a curve, the size curve. So the further away you get, it gets closer to that max value, but it goes larger, and you can see that in the game as I'm pretty far away from this one, actually, as far away as, oh no, I'm not a bow shooter. Okay. So this is as far away as I can, this is as close as I can get, and that's really big. So you can clearly see that it's, a big, but as I get closer, because the curve is such, it's going to shrink faster before it gets down to that thing. So what I'm thinking is that this curve right here, let me make it wider, is, at the basic level, it's going to be linear. The basic bow, this is the very first bow, very linear. The further away you get, the worse it gets. And it might actually be the opposite, so that it gets bigger faster because it's a lower quality bow. But the higher quality of the bow, the more accurate it is, the shallower this curve will be, to where it's just a hockey stick at the end rather than a nice curve. Yeah. All right, so that's what I've been doing. There's also turn-based mode. So in turn-based mode, now we're in turn-based mode. This is turn. Now I can't move forward and stuff. I hold control to move the mouse, just to keep the camera from moving. Otherwise, it's mouse look. But then if I hold control, that stops, and I can select different things. So now in turn-based mode, everyone gets their turn, and they can do things, and then the time will only, like right now, the time stopped. And if we look at our timer, which is another game module, this is game time. We've got our timer down here, game time here, and our sub time. Game time is basically 1 per minute. So every time this goes up, it goes up 1 game minute. And the sub time, the sub counter, is the seconds between, and that's going to be based on your setting of your seconds per game minute. So essentially, there's 3 real-world seconds per game minute. So this sub counter will go up to 3 before increasing game time by 1. That way I can add, like, for the bow shooting, I add 1.1. So 1.1 minutes, and it does the math on figuring out when the next game activity is. So if we see here, I've got 2 characters who can do stuff. So if I just do my defend here, the game time will start moving as soon as this is not doing anything, and then when the next one's available to act, it pauses again. Right now, the bad guys don't have their actions turning on, but they also are bound by the same rules and will act only when their game time comes up as well. And if they are doing an action, then game time pauses for a short while they do their action. Did I fix the loop when random targeting inside a circle is out of range? it's not. I didn't really fix it. I upped the loop check to be 500 or 300 instead of 100, and now if it returns false, I can show that. I actually did update the code on Shoot. I did a fair amount of refactoring last night. Actually, I went to bed at 12 or 12:30, and I really wanted to keep working. And I was like, shit, I didn't take a walk last night because I was just busy. Anyways, yeah. So it's actually an arrow system. Yeah. So an arrow system here. We got the shoot now. It returns a bool. So it returns true if we shoot, false if we don't. So the where is that? So get randomized target. I also moved this method out. So basically, if you have this check can shoot on the bug that Merrick is talking about was there's a hard limit to how far away you can be in order to shoot. Essentially, it's a longer story. It's supposed to be a 45-degree angle. There's a length at which at this velocity, you'll never be able to hit the bad guy. That technically is the range of the bow. But with my angle thing, there was some weird math thing. Oh, yes. Thank you, Merrick, for reminding me. There was some weird math thing going on where it was returning the wrong angle, or the physics were doing something was wrong with the whole system. I got it working with a curve and a mod value, and so now it works perfectly fine. But the end result is that there is a cap at which, if you're past this distance, the angle returned will throw an error, and you won't get a spot. When we do this check can shoot, what we're really doing is saying, hey, get a randomized target inside this radius, essentially, and that's the radius that we're passing, so that it might not hit the center of the target, and check if it can shoot, because if you're really far away, that radius is going to be pretty big. The random position in a circle might be behind the enemy, and if it's behind the enemy and you're at the max distance already, you can't shoot at that position, and it will throw an error. So basically, this randomized target thing has a loop check of 300, and it basically will first of all, if the radius is 0, then it doesn't matter. Or if we're not checking the shoot, then we're just going to return a random position in the sphere. Basically, we only need one. But if we are either checking whether it can shoot or the radius is not 0, in other words, there is a chance that it won't be exactly at the target position, then we do a loop where we just go through and we get a new position, and then we check if we can shoot it from that range. If we can't, then it will keep looping. If we can, then it'll return that. So I figure with 100, there were a few cases where it would go through all 100. The bigger I make this, the less likely it will ever have an issue. But it also, does take some resources, I suppose, to do that check. It was seemingly instant in the editor, but who knows at runtime. So I'll keep that at 300 for now. But this will return a vector 3 and etc. And if it goes through all 300 and it still returns a vector 3 of 0, then it's going to return false, and that means that shoot didn't work. And so, what just happened? I clicked on vector 3. I thought I clicked here. Anyways, and so now in my shoot on the actions, it says if we can't shoot, so it tries to shoot, and if it can't, then it just defends. So essentially, the player won't get a response saying like it's out of range. They'll just defend. I think in the end, I might change that to be like some other response, but maybe they'll say something quirky like, I think it's too far away, I'll defend, or something. Who knows, something like that. But it's a rare occasion. It should be a rare occasion, and there's a fallback here, so the player won't notice that something went wrong or wonky. So technically, even without using a sphere, using a random inside circle would also potentially cause the same thing, because the angle between the player and the bad guy, the circle, part of the circle could be outside of that range. But I think it's fine for now. All of this might be changed in the end, of course, but it's fine for now. So that's what I was doing. There's more that I want to do with this arrows, of course, before I'm done with it. One of the things is I want to enable the ability to shoot while in real time without hovering over a bad guy. So if for those of you who don't know, this is supposed to... Oop, I got my inspector up there, and that is causing the frame rate issue. This is supposed to be kind of like Might and Magic 678 from the 90s. And so that in that world, you have this real time where you're walking around and you can do things and like shooting and stuff. But you also have the turn-based, and the turn-based, everyone takes a turn, and it's based on the timing, basically initiative and whatnot, and all that. In that game, you could hit S. The movement in that game was through the arrow keys. They didn't have mouse look. This was in the 90s, and you could hit S to shoot or cast a quick spell. So I want to enable that sort of thing, and here, oops. So here I can target these with the mouse and target specific ones. But if I just want to shoot and I don't want to care about targeting, then what I would like to do is basically say if I hit a button, it will automatically shoot at the closest enemy. So in this case, it would be this one. Or if I'm down here, it would be probably this one. Or if I'm over here, then it would be one of these three. Probably just as long as it's in the frustum of the camera, then it would shoot that one, the closest one, essentially. Maybe later I can add customization to say this character, when I hit this quick action button, will attack first, shoot second, go for the strongest one, go for the closest one, go for the weakest one, the one that's closest to death, etc. So you can kind of customize the quick actions in order to have each one focus on their thing. I've also played in my head with the idea that some weapons might be strong against some characters. So like there could be a bow or an arrow type that's strong against undead. And so you could set it to be, favor the ones that's strong against that, the most damage prediction, essentially. So the game can basically do some math and predict the damage on each character, the damage range or something, and focus on the one where it's got the biggest chance for the biggest damage, something like that. That's kind of in the future, but the first thing is I don't have a button to do that stuff because I just don't. What my ASWD is for movement, and obviously mouse looking, so I can't click buttons on the screen. So it has to be a key button. We got tab does this, shift tab goes the opposite way. 1, 2, 3, 4 will select them directly. Oh, did you notice? I don't know if you noticed. I did this other cool thing. Check out where the arrow shoots from. Did you see that? I don't know if it was quick enough. Did you see that? Because now the arrow projectile will shoot from underneath the portrait. See that? So it's a little bit more like, oh, it's coming from that character versus that character. It's nothing fancy. I just have a just some math on the number of portraits up there, because there could be up to 7, and a position delta that just does the math on who's selected, and it moves it left or right from center. It works really well. It looks really cool. So I'm really happy with that, because I do think it adds some level of interaction or believability that the arrows are now shooting from the people that are selected. So similar to magic, spells will use the same thing. Do you have a bow to lift into view? So no, I'm avoiding first person views in that way. First, it makes it less complicated for me, but also I think it would be very busy, and the other thing is if I quickly go like this, this is a tactic to just quickly click, 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 and if we have two bows shooting side by side like that, it would get chaotic to have bows going through. And once I have the button, you can just spam that button, hold it down. Game time will progress, whether it's turn-based or not, as per usual. But if you hold down this button, then, yeah. So I think I'm going to use the space button. What I'm thinking, I'm going to talk out loud on this. I think the space is what I already use for interacting. So if we go over to this chest, oh yeah, if I hold shift, I run. Huh. So if I go over the chest, if I hit space, it opens the... Ooh, look at that. Bug. There's definitely a bug there. Because that's not supposed to be there. That's not supposed to be there. That's not supposed to be like that. And there's supposed to be items here. But there isn't. But regardless, we'll fix that another time. So I think space is the button. The button I think would make sense. So I think what I'm going to do is use that as the comment interact button. So if I hit space, and this will eventually be customizable, where you can customize the order of operations, I suppose, for each character. But if I hit space, it will try to interact. If it can't interact, it will try to pick up a dead body. Maybe that's part of the interaction. If it can't do that, it will try to attack melee, and it will again choose the bad guy based on the math. Right now, it'll just be default to the closest one. And if it can't attack with a melee, it will attack with shoot. If it can't attack with shoot, it will attack with a quick spell if that's set. That's not a thing yet, so I'll have to work on that later. And if it can't do any of that, then it just defends, which is the same as that, which is a quick little thing, moves to the next one. Oh, I guess it could be items too. Use an item, but I don't think you'd want to set that for a quick action. Yeah. And the questions. Oh, Dylan, thank you. Says it's pretty. Hasn't seen it in a while. Thank you. It's I actually took a step back. These goblins used to be attacking me, and there was all that logic was there. But then I took a step back and I'm redoing a lot of stuff like that. So I've turned stuff off. Oh, okay. E. Oh, I guess there I do have Q and E. You can always change it. Space is what space is like jump, right? Oftentimes. I don't know if I'm gonna have jump in this context, but it also could be customizable. But for now, I don't know why there's a little circle here. It's probably just a game object. But for now, I think E. Yeah, E could work. I'll keep it for space for now. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see what I've got going on under the hood, because I do have that interaction working. Oh, look at all those errors. What were they? Invalid cast exception. All right, I'll have to break into that. I'm sure there's a logical solution for this. Yeah, there's probably a logical reason for that bug, because it was working last time I tried to open the chest. Yeah, we're not gonna have crouch, so maybe we'll have a. Yeah, I suppose eventually there will be some UI that tells you what the quick action is, because it could change for each player, and it just have to be UI, but. For now, I'm going to do... Maybe I will keep it separated. Let's look at the code first. So this is going to be an actions. Actions, by the way, is a very long class. Jason Wyman would look at this and say that's too long, and he's right. He's very right. A lot of this I need to refactor into its own stuff. Actually, with Arrow System, I refactored the heck out of that, so it's much shorter now. Only 250 lines, including all these comments and stuff. And now there's Arrow Flight, which is, again, short. It does one thing. It is set up to do more, so it's got its audio setting on it now, and it might do more later as an option, but for now there's that. So I did refactor out a fair amount of stuff in that. But in my actions, we'll say key code dot space. All right, space key. So let's go back here. Let's see, check player actions. Where's that? Let's just go back to the beginning. Late update. All right, so there's two things here. One, in late update, we just go through the things. First, test keys for debugs and stuff. Yeah, if you haven't played Might and Magic 6, 7, 8, Might and Magic 6, it's the graphics are super dated, but the game itself is actually pretty good. It's exciting. I've beat it a couple times, but for me, it's the type of thing where halfway through, I just want to start over with a brand new party and just do it again. So that's the So these are actions that can happen without affecting others that are triggered. Check for info box closed. So this is, and that actually should be refactored out. Let me show the info box since we're here and talking about it. I don't think I've showed this actually in any of these streams necessarily. So we got this, and if I click this, then you can see the goblins. So now I can't move. Game time is still moving. If they were moving, it would be moving too. But you can right-click on the goblins, and it kind of gives you a show. I'm going to have to figure out eventually, there's always this one-frame delay because it uses a render texture. So there's a one-frame delay as the render texture updates. And this will eventually also be the type of thing where if they're too far away, you won't be able to get it, or maybe the information that will be on the right side will be different depending on how far away you are and kind of some of your skills, like whether you fought them before. So you might not be able to tell how strong they are from right away. Oh, and I added this too. So you can, while you're in this panel, you can kind of move that camera around. Isn't that fun? I was going to try to do rotate around, but I decided not to. So now it just goes left, right, up, and down with a little bit of a cap with how far it can go. I didn't want you to get too much information, but I just think it's really cool to be able to see that from your perspective. Oh, look at that, and that's us. So that's an interesting thing. That's us right there, that blurry bit. That's us, our players. So this camera's rendering that. It isn't set to not render it. But wouldn't that be interesting if this camera did render it, and I somehow put those players all separate so they're all kind of standing all next to each other? That could be kind of cool. I don't know. It's a bit too far. I probably don't want to do that because there's a lot of issues that could come up with it, and it's really not needed. But isn't that neat? Yeah. So that's the idea here, and I guess you'll be able to see us. Hey, how come this one isn't? Oh, maybe I'm too far away. Maybe there is a distance on this. What? Yeah, so I guess there is a distance thing. So there I am in the background again there too. Anyways, so that's cool, isn't it? Yeah, I like that too. It also was working on items too. So if you see a dropped item, you could right click on it and see what it is, and the camera would be above, looking down. There's each thing has a little camera spot. Anyways, that was a distraction. But so check for info box closed. This should be refactored out. It basically is, well, maybe it not. I mean, it's basically looking for, did the mouse button go up, and is it active? And if the mouse button, the right mouse button, that's the one there, goes up and it's active, then it will set it to false, do all the other stuff. This could live on it itself, really. But, that's another, we'll do that another time. Then actions. So spell on deck. Oh, I should show that. Spell on deck, which should work, although there could be random bugs that cropped up too. Sometimes that happens as I refactor things, So if we go to one of our casters here, we go to our inventory. So right click on these. They're supposed to show a bigger preview here. I don't know why it used to work. I don't know why her eyes are like that either. So Cunning will... Yeah, so this is not working. We got an error there. So I don't know why this is not working. She's supposed to be able to learn the spell and then to cast the spell. Anyways, if there was a spell on deck, then that action would take hold and take precedent. It basically stops game time. So things that are flying through the air might still fly through the air because I don't want... Well, that remains to be seen. I don't want a situation where you can game projectiles by doing something while it's coming at you. I mean, you could always quit the game and reload it, but anyways, so spell on deck actions first, and then that'll block other things from happening because there's a spell on deck. You gotta do something with it. This is the game is going. Reduce the keystroke pause. That's a pause to make it so you can't spam one key 30 times every frame, essentially. So there's a keystroke pause, not a big thing. Mouse raycast, constant keys, player actions. So, okay, so constant keys are things like, oh yes, whether we can tilt, etc. Check, this is the raycast to change the cursor, to add the particle over the enemy for the targeting. Check player actions, and finally update game time. Yeah, and update game time. This is where the new player is selected. So if there's no active player, then it will select a new one. Or if the current player can't, basically if there's no active player, it will select a new one. And then it'll update the game time. This is that. And then do the turn-based wait, so that if there is a thing we're waiting for turn-based, then it will do that. So like when an enemy starts their activity, we turn on a turn-based wait, which doesn't increase game time but doesn't let the player do anything. So it lets the enemy do a little bit of their action, whether it's movement or their attack animation, etc. So it doesn't progress game time, but it does allow the enemy to move but not the player to do anything. Okay, going back. So it's check player actions. So we do all this stuff that might return. Basically, the players can't act if the pause level is greater than 4, if there's no active player, if the active player's next action is greater than now. Technically, this shouldn't happen. If this is the case, then it should be no active player, but just in case. If their turn-based wait is above 0, if our keystroke pause is above 0, so you can't spam the keys. The prompt panel is active. Oh, the scene transition. Yeah, so there's a prompt for do you want to leave the scene? If that's active, you can't do it. If the transition panel is active, i.e. you're about to transition to or from a scene, then you can't, etc. So we do our escape key, and then if our menu is open, or save game menu, that's a different menu than the inventory, etc. menu. If that's open, then we can't do anything but escape. We do our return key, our space key, so this is where we're going to do it. And then if you hit C, you'll open your spells on deck, or your spell book for casting. Select player actions. Okay, so we're going to do this with, let me just check this real quick. What is this? Oh yeah, this is literally selecting player. So for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. All right, so we're going to do this near space key. I think I will take the advice that for quick actions will be E. So we're going to do quick actions. So I'm going to hard code it E for now, but later that will be something else. And so for now, what we'll do is put up here a temporary variable. We're going to say public keycode, and we're going to call this quick action key equals keycode.e. So I saw this. I think I should have known this already, but Jason Wyman, one of his tabletop streams last Friday, I think, was doing this all uppercase for temporary variables, and I was like, that's an amazing idea. So I stole it. Oh my gosh, so I've played both of those games, Legend of Grimrock and Might and Magic X Legacy. I didn't like the grid-based movement. I was happy with Might and Magic 6 that it wasn't grid-based. But the UI inspiration is good. And somewhere there's a Jason Storey had shared these UI sites that just have lots of examples of UI. But Might and Magic X Legacy, I so wanted that to be good. I've barely been able to play it because I can't get into it. And one of the things that really upset me was, I know it's made with Unity, but when I first played it and it came out, and I was so happy that it was out on the Mac when it finally came out, and the big Sorpagle sign outside the town was so pixelated, like it was just using the wrong texture or something. It was so pixelated. I was like, why is that pixelated when everything else is clear? It just threw me off. And anyways. All right, so quick action key, key code dot space, space key, quick actions. So we will say if not, why am I forgetting it all of a sudden? Oh yeah, input dot get key down, quick action key. Then return. So basically, if we did not this frame tap our quick action key, then just return. We're not doing anything. And I suppose I could do a thing where I return true or false, and if I return true, then it won't do anything else. So that if the player somehow hits two keys at once, actually that's probably a good idea, isn't it? Let me do that. So we're gonna do bool here. Return false, and then otherwise return true. And in quick actions, what we'll do is we'll say if quick actions, then return. And same with space key, false, return false, and return true. Bool. And if space key, then return. So this is basically going to say, if it does these, then don't do the rest. I think that's a decent idea, because otherwise it is possible for someone to hit two keys at the exact same frame. And that could cause weird things to happen. Okay, just clear that. Escape key closes things. So if it's open, it's going to try to close. Same pattern here. If we can close that, then we return true that we close something. And it closes it in a hierarchy. So I guess if there are multiple things open, it will close the inventory first, then the in-game menu. But really, the in-game menu should close before the inventory. The in-game menu being like the save load menu, which that's like a top level menu. So that would be closed first before. Oh no, it's not. No, it's not. And I had it right the first time. I was wrong. So the in-game menu is I've noticed the audio clip is the inventory, etc. Other inventory is like the treasure chest. So if there's another inventory open, then it will close that first, and then it will close yours on the next time you press escape. There we go. So if we hit escape, then return. Okay. And then I'll separate those out. So if we hit C, then we will return. Oops. And best practice, let's change this to another one. Open spells key. And we'll put that up here too. Get going for some customization of the keys eventually. Open spells key equals keycode dot C. Okay. So if we hit C, Then we will open spells and we'll return if select player actions. Then we pause the keystroke and also return, and left mouse button down, right mouse button down. Again, technically possible to hit both at once, right? Unlikely that somebody would do that, but somebody's going to do it. Oh, this is actually true. Fix that while we're here. All right, and then if that, then return. Oops. And same here. Even though it's the last one, I'll still do it there because it might not be the last one forever. All right. And finally, return true. All right, so that should solve an issue there. All right, so this is going to be quick actions. So we're going to put debug.log quick actions. So I like to do the debug.log on these so that later when there's an issue I can quickly find where this is. There's a solution for what? I'm reading the chat now. Uppercase is typically used for constants, values that don't change. Yeah. Jason was using it for temporary things. Maybe it can be used for both. Or maybe in a way the temporary thing is a constant, saying, hey, this is just constantly this. I'm going to change it later. Maybe I was misreading what he was doing completely, misinterpreting. Yep, now you have to wait for my game. The real question, Merrick, is whether or not I could somehow get the license to use the name Might and Magic. Wouldn't that be neat? I think I have to make the game really snazzy first and then figure out who knows the owners of that IP, which I believe is a 3DO, whoever owns 3DO now, and figure out if they want to. I know the Might and Magic X was made by a third-party studio, so there's a chance that if the game looks cool enough, they'd be like, sure, we can license that to you. Or maybe I just need to get in contact with who made it? The guy who made the original Might and Magic, all of them. I usually know his name. Anyways, get in contact with that person and have him be like, I'll throw my weight behind this. Maybe he'd write a story or two. But wouldn't that be neat? That would be neat. That would make the game sell more. Quick actions. Really? Event.pop event? What's event.pop event? Get the next queued event from the event system. Oh, so if a player hits 2 keys at once, they'll go into this list and it will give you just the next one in the list of things that happened, whether it be clicks or key presses or anything like that. That makes sense. I might refactor to that later. All right, so on quick actions. For now, right now, shoot. And then, well, really, quick actions is going to be, later this will be customized. So later, let me actually date this, June 5, 2022. Eventually, this should be customizable by the user per player character. But for now, we will hard code the order as attack, shoot, defend, and yeah. Later, things like cast spell, quick spell, or use item like a wand, etc., will be added. So that's for later, but for now we're going to try to do 2 things. We're going to first try to attack, melee attack, and then we'll try to shoot, and then we'll try to defend, which is easy because that's just defend. Whoops. And then we return true. And defend is, we got updated, but it just adds a recovery time and pauses keystroke for pause value, which is just a hard code thing right now. Yeah, so it's just a 0.2 seconds. Yeah. All right. I would expect, Dylan, that would cost quite a bit. John Van Kenning, that's right. I would expect it would cost quite a bit too. But you know, there's worlds in which if a community is loud enough, that, you know, big businesses might listen and be like, hey, this is, especially something like Might and Magic, where they've really struggled to. Heroes did well, but is kind of, you know, they're trying to do other games that work, so they're still trying to make it work. If, you know, I don't think this would ever happen, but if this game were so exciting and the community around it were like, oh my god, this game's gonna be awesome, and it was clear that it's going to be released regardless, and that it actually does fit the genre really well, then it could be that the owners of the IP see an easy opportunity to make some money off of their IP. So I don't know how that actually works. I have a feeling I have to talk to other smart people like David, who knows a lot about IP and stuff, to figure out all that. But that's like future stuff. All right, so try to melee attack. How are we going to do this? This is very similar to the left mouse button down. Whoops. So we already have some code here. Check left mouse button, click. Let me clear this out. And on this, we were basically saying if we're over an object, find the hit. We did hit something. Get the distance, range distance, yada, yada, yada. Did we hit an enemy? Okay. And then if we're melee distance... all right, so check left mouse click enemy. So this is what we're really gonna be copying here. We're gonna look for, let's see, actually we might be able to refactor, because this is essentially exactly what we're going to do, but instead of going on a transform hit, we're just gonna say try to attack this enemy. So if we create a new private void, try to attack enemy, we're probably gonna have to pass something in there, but essentially click the enemy. Once we have this game object, everything below that is agnostic and is the exact same of what we want to do in the other method. So I'm going to copy this, paste it here, and then we'll do try to attack enemy. And then what are we going to pass through? We need distance. So I'm going to pass in distance, and we'll copy that over. And then we need range distance. Okay, float range distance. And then we need, do we actually need distance? I don't think we need distance. I think I changed that to just be range distance. Yeah, because what really matters here is the range distance. There's a slight difference between range distance and distance, where distance is like the player and enemy center, their positions, whereas the range distance is the distance from the spawn position of the arrow and the hit target of what's being targeted. So really it's there's a slight difference there. So I stopped using distance and now only use range distance. So if I remove that, then I no longer need this variable at all. And I don't think I even need it here. Yeah. So before I move forward, I'm going to remove it from here and remove it from here as well. And then do I even need this? Okay, so I will keep it for that. I will keep it for this information down there. Okay, so that simplifies things. That's always a good thing. So we also need clicked enemy. So it's going to be game object enemy. Whoa. Enemy. Another window popped up all of a sudden. I must have hit the wrong thing. So we'll pass in clicked in wrong place here. Clicked enemy. So try to attack this enemy. And we'll just replace this down there. And we're going to return bool. And so if we successfully try to attack the enemy, then return true, otherwise return false. So the mouse click is basically saying, did we do something here? And if we did, then it's not going to do anything else. If we didn't, then it's going to do something else. Let's see. All right, so try to attack enemy is exactly what we're trying to do here. So really, I don't need to change any more of this, I think. Instead, I copy this. Whoops. Quick actions. So on quick actions, what we're really going to do is find closest enemy in camera frustrum, I think that's the word, and then try to attack that enemy. And if we do, then return true, otherwise return false. Yeah, so now I need to get a list of all enemy objects in the frustrum of the camera. Now, I may have set up the enemies incorrectly. I've got another bug here. Let me fix this before we go forward. Where is it? I see it here, but I don't see it in the... There, let me find it. What did I do? Ah. Return false. Okay. So if we look at our enemies, we have a tag, I think, on them, but I don't know what the fastest way to find all the enemies within the frustrum. So they are tagged as enemy. They are layer of enemy, and they have on them an actor target. They also have the actor script. So I'm using actor because I do want the idea that in some cases there will be an actor who you could attack or you could talk to. And if you talk to them, they might talk back or they might try to attack you. And then they're a confirmed enemy at that point. But before that point, maybe they're not a confirmed enemy, or you can sneak attack them. For instance, there could be a quest where you have to... Actually, this is actually a big part of the game. The promotion quests to promote you from your... There's three. Yeah, so each class has four subclasses or advancement classes. So your knight will turn into a something, a crusader or something like that. I don't know, something. And then that's just a neutral quest. You do that. And then once you're there, you can turn into an evil knight or a good knight or nothing at all. And the quest will be kind of the same. Two different characters will give you the quest, but if you want to turn to a dark knight, you might have to kill a maiden, a specific person or something. And if you want to turn into the hero, then you would have to instead save that person. So when you go to this actor, you can choose to, you might have both quests present in your book, in your quest book right now, and it's your choice as to which one you want to do. And then that will change what happens in the rest of the game too. So there's a lot going on there, but that's why this is an actor, not an enemy. And then actor target. So this is the actual thing that gets targeted by arrows. Every enemy, every actor will need an actor target. I do think I'm going to keep you from shooting good guys. I just don't want to deal with that. So maybe NPCs like villagers, just you won't even be able to shoot them, because I just don't want to do. I know in Might and Magic 6, if you did, the knights would come and they'd go to jail for a year. But I'm like, that's just, I don't want to do that. I should drink this coffee. So, I think this I am target might come into play. This interface. I literally just set this up and thinking I might need this. Last week I was doing that, I think. Because really it's going to be, an actor target. It's got to be an actor target. For actor, I think I should probably add a bool here, public bool. Immune. We'll just say not immune, because that doesn't mean. How about this? Can be attacked equals true. We'll set it to true for now, and we'll look this up to see can the actor be attacked, and maybe we'll make it private and do the smart thing of doing like public void set can be attacked and bool new value, and we'll say can be attacked equals new value, and maybe we'll do more to it later, but this way we can set that, and we can do public bool can be attacked will be can be attacked. All right. So now we can just check quickly if they can be attacked. So what we're really going to do is going to get a list of actor targets. An actor, so we'll get a list of actor targets that are within the frustrum of the game. Find the closest one that can be attacked, and that's the one we're going to attack. It would be fun, but it adds such a complexity to the game, and I also don't like. That was one part of Might and Magic 6 that I just didn't like. If you accidentally shot somebody, it's like, wait, I was trying to hit the goblin and it hit the person, and suddenly it's like, I don't know. I think if an arrow goes close to them, maybe there will be a little animation that makes them jump out of the way, so it just looks like, oh, I barely escaped death. So that could be fun to play with. The other thing in Might and Magic 6 is there are unlimited arrows, so you could just shoot. If there was nothing in front of you, you just shoot forward. And that's where you could accidentally hit an NPC without meaning to. Or with magic spells. If you did a fireball at a goblin and there was a human too close, then that would kill the human. Suddenly everyone would think that you're attacking all the humans, which doesn't logically make sense. So I just want to avoid all that. For now, at least. That could always change later. All right. So what we need to find is all actor targets within the frustrum. So I think I need to look this up because there's probably a solved solution here. Unless one of you all know it. Let me bring this over here real quick. And we'll say find all objects in camera frustrum Unity 3D. What do we got here? All objects in a camera's frustrum field of view. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. One of these will have something. This one's recent. That's always a good sign. I don't see any help there. Is visible. Is visible. Calculate frustrum planes. What is this? Is this Oh, you did? You helped me and then it got buried? Where is it? I know I was talking a lot and I got sidetracked. I'm looking. You can probably use culling group API or write your own to detect what is inside the camera frustum. Yes, I can go over it. Let me find this. I think that I'm pretty sure this is already a thing. Is this? Might be a thing. All visible objects. Culling group example. Let's see. So this could be what you were talking about. Cull group target camera can remain. Proper balance for your object. That's not okay. I can probably figure that out. Maybe. Culling group option. Way to integrate your own systems. All the volumes for which culling group computes visibility are defined by bounding spheres. Okay. What I was actually thinking of doing is just getting a list of all of the bad guys and then just going through one by one and order of or closeness, and then if they're not within the angle of the player, the frustum is better because of various screen sizes. I think if it's a wide screen, you'll have more of a frustum, but then it would essentially say, okay, give me all of them, and then figure out which one's close and visible. So what I think I'll do is that rather than trying to learn something brand new, I will do it the way that I think I know how to do it, and I can always update it later. So in my actions, I'm going to close all the left here. In my actions, we'll do quick action key. There we go. Quick actions. So find closest enemy. So we're going to first get a list all enemies by distance. So I think we can try link for this one. So I think I'm also going to max distance is going to be there is going to be some max distance at which no bow can ever go above, and I think it's going to be, we'll just make it 75 for now. We'll make it max search distance because at that point you can't shoot anything beyond that. And then is it I know this is they say it's slow, but find all objects of type actor target, right? I mean, this is a slow method, I hear, but all objects, all actor targets equals that dot order dot order. Can I do that? All actor targets dot order by. How do I order? Where? Let's see. Ooh, Michael Murray just posted some code. Well, that didn't format properly, but okay. Let's get the list first. Okay, so I have the list, and I wanted to do this by distance. Can I? Oops. Can I do that by distance? Thank you. Find objects of type. Can I not just do link on that? I thought I could, but maybe not. Select. Wait, why am I forgetting link all of a sudden? Unity 3 link all objects of type. Let's see. We got this link with all certain type. And then, of course, this one always comes up. This page always comes up. SEO master right here. I'm not really into game development. Sorry. So this is going to be a list, dot order by, and all that stuff. So it should be all actor targets dot, unless it's just not coming up, dot order by. Order by. Okay. X distance X dot position dot transform dot position to game dot player position. Okay, so now it's ordered by distance, and then we will say get first enemy. Oh, how about this? If get first enemy or actor target, be more specific, target inside all actor targets, then we'll return true and do stuff. Otherwise, we return false. And this is what we'll do here. Ooh, actually, if that does not equal null, then we'll do something, because this is going to return an object, a game object, or an actor target. Void actor target, get all of them. And so now we will say if so we'll check this first, and then we'll do distance. The second one will be if distance between actor target for each var actor target in actor targets. All right, here we go. For each one, if the distance between actor target and dot transform dot position and game dot player position is greater than float max search distance equals 75. We'll hard code it there too. Greater than margin than that. Then continue. Actually, since it's or by different, we'll say return false. Return default. Because it's ordered by distance. So if we find one that's out of that distance, then we can just return right away. All right. And then we're going to look for in frustrum. And if it's not, then we'll... All right, so point, game object transform position. For each of our plane and planes, if plane distance is that, then return false. Otherwise, return true. I think I'm missing a bit of your code here. You may have deleted it too. You know, I also just need a method that says, can I see? So, okay, Unity 3D is object in camera view. Come on, there's gotta be a on will render object. There we go. I bet this is something. We'll call for each camera if the object is visible. It's deemed visible after the culling process. If you need a preparation step for every camera. I wonder if this will work. Because if there's a chance that maybe it will render it even though you can't actually see it, but okay, let me just try this, and we can always change it later. Where's my code? Where's my code? There it is. If this is expecting a game object, actor target dot game object. Game dot player camera. Why not? Oh. Nope. Oh, actually. Okay, I get it now. I understand what's going on here. Okay, so if I go to my actor target, I can add a new thing, public bool is visible equals false. Oops. We'll say true if the camera is rendering this object. And we're going to reset. We're just going to call this reset bools. So I'm doing this thing here where they get reset every frame unless they're actively, unless it's paused or they're actively being set true, then it'll reset them. And so what we can do is here, actually, we'll make that a different one. Set visibility, and we'll say is visible equals game.playerCamera.will render on will render object. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm messing. This is a method that goes on. how do I use this? I feel like I'm making a new mistake here, where this is supposed to be like a public void or private void on will render object. Oh. Okay. So is visible equals true, and we can set that false here. Is visible equals false. So it will always be set false, but after that, if it's visible, then it will be true. All right. Will that work? I have no idea. I'm going to make that early update. Do you guys use early update? Early update's a thing, right? Maybe it's not a thing anymore. Okay, I'll need to look up the order of operations. Unity 3D order of execution order for event functions. Called once for each camera if the object is visible. On became visible, on became invisible. Oh. Even better. Maybe. Okay. Now, order of operations. We have blah, 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 blah. Here's the loop. So fixed update, not that. Update happens first. So I guess it doesn't really matter now because we have these two. So that happens after update. Okay. Awake only happens once though. All right, so this should work. That's what they say. We have our bad guy, and let's give it a test. Our bad guy actor target is right here. We have a bug. I probably didn't do so. Oh yeah, so I gotta fix that. So what we'll do is if actor target dot is visible, then continue. So if we're not continue. So if we're not visible, we'll continue and go to the next one, and then return default if the distance is too far. Otherwise, this means we're visible and the distance is close, so we return actor target. And here we will say just return true for now. Okay, I could do a debug log. But first I just want to check to see if this is visible thing works. So the toggle's there. Let's see. It might work in scene view too, so that's going to be a consideration, I suppose. This keeps... The new for this thing is when I press pause, this changes back. Okay, so is visible. Which one's this? This one is that one. Okay. Didn't work. It's definitely visible, but did not say it's visible. So my question then is, well, it doesn't really need to spell, right? I don't think these are being called at all. My question is, are they called on all objects, or maybe it's because the target isn't visible and I need to say the game object. Yeah, it's probably game object. So no, that this is on the game object, so that, I mean, there's no other way to put it right there, right? Maybe we just need an example. On became visible example. Called when the renderer became visible by any camera. This message is sent to all scripts attached to the renderer. So this isn't the renderer. The renderer isn't here. So the main renderer will be the bodies. So each body will need to have a script that, oh, look at this. Actor is seen. So I was working on that way back in the day too. So I'm going to add a new script. I'm going to add it in my scripts folder. Legend of the Stones. Just create C# script. We're going to say actor visibility. Or yeah, that's fine for now. Actually, I'll change it. I decided I want to change it. I'm going to add it to both the female and male body, and then update the prefab, just so I don't run into issues later. And that should add it to all of them then. And what we'll do here is we'll have a public actor target. Oops. And we will just go here and say copy those, paste, whoops, didn't copy. Copy these, paste those, and then say actor target is visible equals true, and actor target is visible equals false. And we will also say if no actor target, then return. Just so we don't have an issue with that. And that should be all that script does. And then we can delete this, whoops, and delete this, and delete this, save that, and press play. And I still want to go back and answer the question from earlier. Once this is working. Did not work. Oh, that's because I didn't assign the actor target. Yep. So I need to assign the actor target here. All right. And if you're watching, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you like. Hey, it didn't work. WTF. Oh, it did work. It just didn't. Oh, I didn't have a debug thing. But look, it didn't stop working. See? I wonder if it's because... so it does work in scene view too. So heads up on that. It's any camera, including the scene camera. So if we don't see it there, but we do see it here, how accurate is it? It seems pretty accurate. What if we go behind here? It's visible. And peekaboo. Oh, look at that. It's still visible. This is what I was worried about. is that it's really checking just to see if it's being rendered by a camera, even if it's visible by the camera, even if it's not visible by the player. See, so it should not be visible. Well, it shouldn't be visible here. So I think I need to do a ray cast or something to the enemy. Yes, those are light probes or reflection probes, something like that. I think that was built in the demo scene for this Meadow pack from Nature Manufacture. Ray cast can see enemy or object. I mean, I guess what I'm really looking for is just do a ray. So I'll add that here, and I'll just say actor target, and we'll say public. Hold on. We'll do public bool player can be seen, and that's gonna be see can player see me. And can player see me? We'll say if not is visible, then return false. And then otherwise we'll do a ray cast from the player position to this position. So I want to copy paste ray cast. I want to copy and paste it. I'm going to copy paste. Okay. So ray cast from game.player_camera to game object or target position. Target position. Sorry. Camera dot position transform dot position. Oh wait, what the heck did I do? That's not what I wanted. I copied the wrong code. Get ray cast. What am I doing? I totally just copied code. Now it's the wrong bit of code. All right, ray cast. Ray, we need to do a ray. Let me just copy it from here. Ray cast. I always have to copy the ray cast. Physics. Cast a ray that ignores all colliders except this one. Physics.raycast. There we go. Just needed this. Yes, okay. So I was close. Yeah. So we can ignore that. Okay. So from there to target position, out hit. God damn that button. Max distance. Infinity screen, click layer mask value. I don't think we need a layer mask at all. And so if we didn't, so we'll just do this. Okay. We'll do the raycast. And okay, I think I drank too much coffee. And then we'll say if hit.game.collider.gameObject is not equal to gameObject, then return false. So basically, if there's something blocking us, then return false. And this is going for the arrow target. And we will say also if target position equals null, or if arrow target equals null, then equals null, then we'll return false. So if we have no arrow target, then we'll return false too, because then we have nothing to shoot at. And we need something to shoot at. All right, maybe that will work. Maybe I want to use AreaCast. I'm sure this is not the most efficient way to do this. This is one of those situations where I feel like I know how to do it, even though I know there's probably other ways. And so I need to change the code because player, what we're looking for, can be seen. So this is what we're really looking for now. So quick action, quick actions. All right. Get first player. This is where we are. If actor can't actor target dot can be seen, continue. So if we can't be seen, continue, and otherwise return actor target, and we will say debug.log found actor target dot game object dot name. Oops. Okay. Well, hello there, Aaron Carter. How are you? All right. So now we do that by E. All right, let me make sure this is actually working by doing debug.log did not find an actor target out of all actor targets.count.length. We did not find one. Good. I'm glad you're relaxing. I had Friday off, and so now I feel like I don't want to go to work tomorrow. Like, if I have more of a weekend, then it increases the chance that I don't want to go to work the next day. So this isn't even happening at all. I'm hitting E, and it's not happening at all. So, why is it not happening at all? Debug, that isn't even happening either. Get key down, quick key action, key code E. If input.get key down key code.e debug.log E was pressed, and then else debug.log E not pressed. I'm just going to hard code that for now. And quick actions. I guess it's possible that's got a bug in one of these, and it's yeah, going, never actually getting there. Okay. E. Alright, so it's not actually getting there, it seems like. So let's see if we're going there. Debug.log check player actions 1. Just gonna brute force this after each one. Figure out where it's going wrong. 4, 5, 6. Hopefully one of these. Let's make sure this is actually going to. Hopefully one of these is going to pop up, and we'll see what's going on here. Oh, ha! I had those turned off. Okay, so it is going through all of those. E not pressed. Okay. I had my console thing just turned off. No wonder it wasn't showing. So undo all those. Okay, E not pressed. E was pressed. I'll delete those two. Okay. Now we'll try again. Yes, you can do that. You can also make your own debug class that has a toggle, so you could turn it on in builds if you wanted to, like for testing purposes. E. Quick actions. Did not find actor target out of 6. Well, at least it found 6 actor targets. Why isn't it finding one? Let's find out. Get first actor target for each one. So debug.log checking actor target.name. They all have the same name, I think, or maybe they have numbers after them. Will be say debug.log can't be seen, and then debug.log distance was too great. In fact, we'll just spit this out. And there we go. So that should give us all of our options here. E. Can't be seen. They all can't be seen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 can't be seen. All right. That is helpful because that is on my thing here. Can be seen. Can player see me? Do they have arrow targets? They do have arrow targets. So we're just going to debug.log is not visible. That's not going to happen. And we're going to say debug.log hit game object, and it's going to be .name. So we'll find out if it's saying other game objects there, I suppose, and that will tell us whether it's the right object or not. I could also do a debug.drawLine if I want to visualize that. It's always a helpful technique. Let's see. Okay. E. Oh, look at that. It did hit this big cube, which there's no big cubes here. So clearly it's not doing the right position. So player camera transform position. That's where it's supposed to be. Maybe we do game.arrow spawn. Where is it? Player arrow spawn. Isn't it? I thought I had that saved something. Player, active player position. I don't want player position. That's not the right thing. It's the spawn. Spawn. Do I not have? I thought I had the spawn position saved here, but maybe it's on actions. Maybe it's actions. Let's see. Actions dot using static Infinity PBR Legend of the Stones actions, not error system. Actions. Actions dot spawn player arrow. No, I swear I had it somewhere. Maybe it was in arrow system. Arrow system. Arrow spawn transform. There we go. So we make this arrow system, and then we're going to say arrow system dot arrow spawn transform dot position, and I'm going to go to my arrow system and say make an easy little thing for me. Where we do public transform arrow spawn position, and it's actually going to be vector 3, and that's going to be arrow spawn transform dot position, and so arrow system arrow spawn. Okay, arrow spot yes, okay. Arrow spawn position. And we're also going to do debug.drawLine from arrow system.arrow spawn position to the target position. We'll make it color cyan, and we'll do it for 3 seconds. All right. You like my code formatting? Thank you. Yes, I only want one tiny line. I basically want to see if the player could technically see that bad guy. So we should see some lines. Let's see. Oh, hit the wrong key. There we go. So we saw a bunch of lines. Did not find one. So if we pause there, we see the lines. So these ones, all three of these should be seen. My guess here is that these don't have... They do. They got their rigid bodies. They got their capsule colliders. What are we finding here? Oh, hit game object collider. Collider. I guess what we really want, we're finding these instead. Whoops. There must be, yeah. So I'm hitting something here. So what I want to do a layer mask. So it's only checking enemies, which is really supposed to be actors, but that's okay. And so where would we put that? Okay, so I think I'm going to put that in my game just for now. I think at some point I should refactor it to be like a layer mask script or something. Layer mask, do I already have? No, I don't already have layer masks here. So I'm going to just put that in down here. We'll say header, refactor this later, and public layer mask. And it's going to be actor visibility layer mask. All right. So when here we will do our layer mask game dot dot that. Okay, and then in our game we will only check actual objects, not colliders that are like entrances, etc. I think that might work. We'll see. Refactor this later. Oh, should separate load and scene name, but that's okay. Let's see. We will do items. Items? No. We will do enemy hitbox, enemy default. I don't know if that's going to work. Enemy dead, just in case there's a big giant dead enemy. I don't know about projectiles. Maybe. And maybe item 2. Okay. Let's just see if that works, and we'll go from there. I think, Michael, you might be right. But I also need to check to make sure that they can be seen by the player. Big cube. See, this is where's big cube 21? Why is big cube 21? Where? Oh, god damn it. Big cube 21. Why is this? That makes no sense. Right? There's only the one. Hit game object big cube 21, and I believe, oops, I shouldn't have done that. I believe the debug draw line is showing us in the area. You know, it's not anywhere near big cube 21. The lines seem to be working, right? Is my ray somehow not? Origin. Oh, direction. Duh. So direction is different. Okay. Direction in using static in Infinity PBR, Legend utilities. Direction and from the arrow system dot arrow spawn position to that. That's what we're looking for. Raycast needs a direction. Distance is infinite, but I can actually cap this at, say, 300. I don't see a world where we go more than 300. Knock on wood and all that, but okay. It's actually not direction vector 3 forward. That would just do forward in world space. So it's got the start position, but it needs to be the direction from this to that object, because there's a chance that if I'm over here, I want to see this. So if it was just my forward, then it would just be this position just straight forward and only get a tiny little thing. But now I'm going to cast the ray towards each one of these. There we go. So we found one. All right. So that was the big thing. And this has thrown me before too. Ray is a direction where debug draw a line is just a start and end. It would be neat if ray was a start and end. I guess you could do that. You could choose a start position, choose an end position, and then choose the length and basically do a ray directly there. In fact, interesting. Let me sidetrack myself. Legend utilities. So I built this. We talked about this briefly in the game thing where I built this utilities thing, and I wonder who wrote the Book of Love. I could make perhaps a utility for this that does all of this at once. Let's see. It returns a hit. Legend utilities. So let's play with this real quick. This is fun. So public static hit raycast hit. We're gonna call this raycast get raycast hit, and we're gonna need a whole bunch of stuff. Return hit. We need a start position, so vector 3 start position, and then vector 3 end position. And so for start position, we put this here, and we put this here, and end position is here, and we need start position here as well. And then we will also get a distance, so float distance equals distance distance dot infinity. What was the infinity code? I just changed it. Math f dot infinity. So math f dot infinity, and we will also say, oh, we don't need that. We're going to compute that, and we're going to say layer mask, and this is going to be null. Okay, and then we're going to create distance. Var distance equals distance between start position and end position, and so we put distance here, plus 0.1. So we're just going to add a little extra distance to it. I don't know if that matters, but it might. And we got direction, and I'm going to do that direction, and we'll do var direction equals direction. And then layer mask. How can I do layer mask? Can I put in a null layer mask, or will that throw? Oh, layer mask can't be null. Okay, so it requires a layer mask. That's fair enough. And then we'll say bool draw line equals true, and color line color equals color dot cyan. Can I do that? I don't. Yes, I guess. And float line duration equals 3f. See, can I do this? Nope, I can't do color. All right, so the color is just going to be whatever. So if not draw line, then return hit. Otherwise, we're going to draw a line and then return hit. And duration is going to be line duration, and that's that. So now, instead of doing all this here, I can say var hit equals get raycast hit and pass in my arrow system.arrow spawn position and my target position, position, and my game.actor visibility layer mask and true. And I don't even need to pass in true. And then these all go away. And now I have one line that does all of that, and I can replace all my raycast hits with that. And bonus thing. Oh, hey, Jason Wyman's here. You said, ha, you left me playing in the bedroom, huh? Okay. Yeah. And hi, Jason's wife. I don't actually know your name, Jason's wife. Prefer to call you by your name, but I guess we'll use Jason's wife for now. All right. Look at that. It only hit one. Why did it only do one? Oh, because it found the first one. Is that why? Nope. It's only doing one. That's interesting. Why is it only doing one? I mean, it's nice that it's finding it. But it should be doing more than one. It was doing all of them before. Oh, interesting. Is it not doing it by distance? Let me do so it should be looking by distance, right? Quick actions. It should be ordering them by distance. Oh. Oh, I'm not assigning this. No wonder. All actor targets equals that dot to list or to array. That's why I wasn't actually assigning that. So it was finding the very first one. So it's kind of working. There we go. So look at that. It's finding two close, and we can see in the debug lines, but it's finding the closer one that I can see. And if I'm over here, it does those two. If I'm over here, it does those two. Why is it only doing this? If I'm way over here, I can't see any of them. Okay, well, this is a problem because I can't see. So I think I need to go Michael Murray's route and do the angle thing. But because it's getting the closest one, but it's not doing the whole frustrum thing. Maybe Jason Wyman, if you're listening, do you know the right way to say is in the camera's frustrum? And actually, I just want to check my ray too, because the ray is just saying from here to here. It doesn't care what direction I'm looking. So I guess if I'm back here behind stuff, I want to see that it does not go. Yeah, so can't see any of them. So the ray's working properly. It can't see any of them. It's getting other colliders. As soon as I go here, it gets that one because I can't see it. But I need to make sure that I can actually physically see it in the frustrum. So I still go back to the is visible in frustrum thing. So I've got these layers of various things. I am doing on became visible, but unfortunately, earlier I realized on became visible uses the scene camera too. So I need to move the scene camera to be way over here. Oh. Okay, it didn't crash. It just got hidden. Way over there. And then, let me see. Now we got those working. Whoops, no, don't enter the dungeon. Ah, bug. Okay. Okay, let me restart it. Yeah, so it uses the scene camera too, which is just unfortunate, really. But yeah, let me see. Yeah, so it's still. Oh yeah, that's why, because it was doing on became visible even when it's not. Like none of them are visible right now. So now we didn't find one, but then one will become visible before I see right here. I can't actually see the enemy. I think it's just the camera is drawing it, but it's still outside of the frustrum, right? Because it's this one up there probably. And there you go. See, so that one up there is turning on and off just by me going like this, but it's outside the frustrum. So I need to see, and if it's behind an object, it also gets turned on. So I need to see if it's in the frustrum. Someone had an idea earlier about that. Let me see. I've done this before. I swear I've done this before. Unity 3D is object in camera frustrum. I'm just not finding a link that I like. The word frustrum, solid shape that looks like a pyramid. Aaron says test planes AABB plane planes bounds. What does that mean? I'm looking here. So divergent lines, that's the frustrum. Yes, I get that. Rays from the camera. At any point in the camera's view corresponds to a line in world space. Ray object. The ray always corresponds. Okay. The camera class. Screen point to ray. Viewpoint to ray function. Ray casting. So this is a screen point to ray, which means just where I click, and it'll cast a ray where I click, or where the mouse position is. It's not exactly what I want. Somebody else said that earlier too. I did. Unity. Which one am I looking for? Test planes. Returns true if bounds are inside the plane array. Oh. Oh, indeed. Let's try it. This is why you're my favorite person right now, Aaron. Everyone else, you're also my favorite people. Actor target, actor target, actor target. Get raycast. So it would be here. Remember to use just planes. So planes is going to be the camera. Oops, where'd it go? Game.player camera dot camera dot get component camera. Object collider equals collider. Actually, put this up here, and we'll say hit collider. So if it is this object, and hit collider is dot bounds, then return true. We'll do this. Actually, return false if we don't. We'll say debug.log outside of frustrum. All right, we can see if that works. I don't think it threw any errors, which is always a good thing. All right. E. Oh, we found the first fighter. Okay, let me get close to this one, which I know is 2. Ooh, we did. It seems to be working. See, there's one way up there in the corner. I don't know if you can see it, but I can. This one right there. Found it, found it. Don't tell the others I was lying to them earlier. You really are my favorite. Fredo's up there too, but Aaron wins the prize this hour. There is no prize, but brownie points. So yeah, so essentially it seems to be working. We got these things, and it's going to check all of them, but it will find the one that's closest that's also in the frustrum. So it's close. So if we look at let me zoom in right here. Whoa. Zoom in right here, get a bird's eye view of what we're looking at. So we got this one and that one. They're right close. So if I do that, it's there. If I'm over here, it checks them all because those two are closer, but it finds that third one. If I'm over here, it checks them all. None work. So what I'm thinking is, though, see, it's outside there. Is there a way to see if it's close? Because it's so close, but it's not in the frustrum. As far as the player is concerned, it's off the screen, right? It's over here, but its shadow is there. I don't know if that matters. Or maybe its collider is right here, you know? So what I could actually look for, instead of... let me just check the code. What collider am I colliding with? Oh, it's going to return the enemy collider before the target collider. Let me just see something. Because if we look at our character here. We've got this collider on the outside. That's what's going to hit before anything else on the inside. And I actually don't really want to hit that. What I want it to hit is going to be the arrow target, which itself does not have a collider. Do I want to have a collider? Or we can say, what's the code look like again? Hit collider that bounds. It has to be a collider, and because it needs bounds. So what I could say is if my arrow target, this should be a prefab. This object should be a prefab. So let's make it a prefab. We'll put it in here for now. Okay, I need to open it. Then make it a prefab. Arrow target. There it is. Make that a prefab. And then save. Then open this prefab. And add a collider. Now, it's going to be a small collider. So we're going to make it 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. And is that going to mess with other things? We'll find out. Hey, the bull. I will have to check behind walls again. Thank you, Merrick, for reminding me. That's a good call out. So it has that. Let's find out. Now we're going to look instead in the code here. We're going to change instead of hit collider. Okay, so instead of enemy, shoot, I do want enemy. Maybe it's not that big of an issue. You know what? I'm going to say that. It's not that big of an issue. So on the prefab here, I'm going to turn that off, save it on the prefab. So it's off there. It's not that big of an issue. Most cases, that's not going to be an issue. That's why I've decided. Because I'd have to create a new layer just for the thing and then check that against another one and all this other stuff. So we're going to see this. So could not find an enemy. Now it can. Found that one. Okay, cool. So let me get rid of all my debug logs here. Too many debug logs. Wrong button. Distance was too great. We can do that there. And remove that. Okay. Remove this. Okay. And then we will try to attack. Let's see. Okay. We're going to say var found actor target equals that. And then if found actor target is not null, then actually, how about this? If it is null, then we'll return false. Otherwise, we will try to attack it. And if it's returned true, then We were able to attack it, otherwise return false. We weren't able to attack it. Try to attack enemy. So the range distance is going to be range distance to target equals distance from arrow system dot arrow spawn position to found actor target dot target position. So that, and the clicked enemy is dot game object. Okay. Yeah. I get to become a perfectionist. Like, I think, okay, now I just need to check to see if it's within the angle. So in my head, I was starting to go, okay, at the beginning of the game, I can kind of, see if a frustrum, like basically cut the frustrum off here, or maybe I can make the planes come in a little bit. Like, how can I bring the planes in? Maybe that's actually a solution. Bringing those planes of the frustrum a little bit in, so that if it's right on the edge, it just won't trigger. But anyways, E. Did it work? Oh, it defended. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Ha! Ha! Totally works. Now we'll switch to this. Ha 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 ha. Like Jason's plaque says, make progress, not perfection. Progress, not perfection, right? All right, so that totally works. The other question now, though, is, I guess I was thinking I need to quick action key is going to be get key, not just down. If it's down at all, then we'll do that. And when I do this is where I need to do false, false, return true. Quick actions. So if we do a quick actions, if it returns true, then I'm also going to do keystroke pause, because basically I'm going to allow it, the E key, that key, to be spammed. And if it does something, then I want the keystroke pause to be one every 0.2 seconds. For now, let's see if that works. There we go. So now it's going through, and I'm just holding it down, and it's going through. This is where I think it actually needs to be not E, because my left hand is my finger thing is can't hit both E and that at the same time. That's why I think if it was space, then I'd be able to move while also holding down space, but that's okay. Look at that. Magic. Isn't that a great feeling? That's a great feeling. So now someone asked a question a long time ago that I liked the question, but I wanted to, I believe it was Pretoast. Pretoast, are you still here? I wanted to answer it. No rush. Don't want to distract. You didn't, see? But when you have a free minute, breaking point, can you go over the main project? I get the RPG kind of feel, but know nothing else. Yeah, so let me find a video and turn off the audio so I don't get a copyright hit there. So hold on one second. I'm going to turn off my computer audio and find Might and Magic 6 gameplay. And we will do this and turn off the sound. Okay, sound is off. So, this is not the right one. That's using a mod. I want to show the ones without mods. All right. So this is Might and Magic 6. It is a classic game. And let's get to the actual walking about. And it looks like this. Oh, they were using a secret at the beginning. But see, you can see I've got similar things, right? So you walk around, you fight things, you got the portraits, characters. Here's the town. So you walk around, go in places, buy things. RPG, straight RPG. You got the portraits down here. You've got the hirelings over here. All that good stuff. So this is the game that I used to just love playing. I would play on my dad's PC. I had a Mac. My dad had a PC. So I used to play on my dad's PC. It was great. I had my brother and my dad build me a PC. They just fought the whole time, and then at one point they like almost broke it because they were fighting over how to make it. And I was like, this is dumb. I like Macs, so you don't have to build them. Anyways, so yeah, so that was a great game. I wanted to essentially recreate it with modern things. So look at all those dragons. Look at that clipping plane. So that's what I'm trying to do here, is make a game that is similar in feeling to this, where you walk around, solve quests, level up, figure out the puzzle, the big puzzle of what's going on in the world, all that stuff. And there's just a lot of variety, customization, replayability in regards of your different party that you can build, different quests that are only available to you if you're certain character types, or like if you do something, then maybe another quest will open up or close based on that activity. So stuff like that. Yeah, Aaron, it probably does, as long as it's not a bundle. The bundles. Just let me know which one you like, and I'll get it for you, because that was super helpful. The power of math. Yeah, I actually I on my PC now, I loaded it up and got it working with this widescreen. At first, it was all stretched and it was annoying, but I got it working. Every once in a while, I like to just bring it up and just play around with Magic 6 just to remind myself of what what I liked about it, because it's dated, of course. So that's what this is. Essentially I'm trying to do a modern, yes, exactly, a modern Might and Magic game. And that's why I would love to somehow, get the rights to actually call it a Might and Magic game. Wouldn't that be cool? Here's another question. If we're too far away, will it say I'm too far away? Let's see, I need to go far enough away where I can't see anyone else, but I also can't attack.
Come on, we need to get closer. Come on, we need to get closer.
Whoa.
Closer.
Okay, so that should be fixed. I think what I need is a boolean that says quick action or not. So in my quick actions, when we do this, try to attack enemy, we're going to add a new one called true. And we're going to say is a bool is quick action and equals false. But here we're going to say if not is quick action. How about this? We'll do this. Is player action. And we'll make it true. So if it is the player action, then we'll react. Otherwise, we won't react. Because otherwise they're going to be talking left and right, and we don't want that. So they're not going to talk if it's the They're only going to talk if it's player action. If it's not a player action, they're not going to talk. Quick action. And so here, it's not a player action. Good night, Merrick. See you next time I stream during the daytime here. Let's see. All right, let me just confirm that works. Let's see, okay. I am close enough. I am not close enough.
If only I were a little bit closer.
There you go. I do want to get rid of this. Oh, you know what else I wanted to do? I wanted to make this into a utility. So we have our get raycast hit utility. Now I'm going to put this in my utilities as well. And we'll call this public bool, static bool, is in camera frustrum. And we're going to return this. So we need the camera and collider. And we'll do a camera here and collider here. And return that, so I can make this a single line like that. And if not is in camera frustrum, then return false, and we will pass in our player camera. Why? Let me player camera. Ah, I see. All right. Public camera, player camera is going to be player camera dot get component camera. Actually, since we're going to do this a lot, we're going to say get player camera, and we will do a new one, private camera, player camera, and create this real quick. And if player camera is not equal to null, then return player camera. Otherwise, player camera equals player camera dot get component camera, and if then return player camera. And if for some other, yeah, that's not going to be null. That's if that throws an error, then we got bigger problems. All right, so get player camera. So player camera is going to be get player camera, and we'll cache that if we haven't cached it yet. I could just set it in the inspector too, but I didn't. All right, so now here we will just pass in game player camera, and then so player camera and hit.collider. Is this not passing back a camera? Camera. camera. Oh. Whoops. Game.camera. Player camera. Okay. Then we can move that and check to see if it's true and move that. Restart this. Camera property and player camera. I mean like the object and then camera, player camera. Yeah, because I didn't want to set. And the real, I guess because I wanted to be private, but really, I could have just made it. I don't know. All right, let's just make sure everything still works. This is interesting. I was hitting E doesn't work if I'm holding both W and D. Why is that? It works if I'm holding. So if I hold S and D or W and D, E doesn't work. Or S and W. But S and A does. And yeah, that's weird. Sometimes if I'm like holding A and D, E doesn't work. Huh. Interesting. I don't know why that is. Anyways. It could be my keyboard. Do you think is it my keyboard? It could be my keyboard. That's annoying. All right. So now the player can see me. If we're not visible, that means that we're not. The camera thinks we're not visible. So just return false. And then if we have no arrow target, then return false. Otherwise, so if the system thinks we're visible and we have an arrow target, then we will get a raycast, get a raycast hit from our arrow spawn position to the target position, and with that layer mask. And if we didn't hit this object, then return false. If we did, then we will then check if the frustrum, and if we're not in that, then return false. Otherwise, hey, we can see. So true. Yeah. That's cool. Only less than a year. Wow. Oh. Well, 15 to 20 years of Maya and other coding. That's pretty damn good. I've been using Unity for about 10 years. It was actually 10 years ago, probably around 10 years and 1 month ago, that I first watched Indie Game the Movie on Netflix. I was probably eating a giant bowl of pasta or eating an entire pizza by myself at the time, and I thought to myself, I can do that. So I got a book from Barnes & Noble, back when they had those everywhere, and started typing away with Unity, 3 point whatever, and there were bugs in the book, and I didn't know how to fix them, so I got frustrated and spent all summer studying philosophy and riding my bike and losing weight by not eating pizza and pasta. And then later in the fall, I think, I thought to myself, I saw the movie again, Indie Game the Movie again, and I thought, fuck it, Andrew, you can do this. So I found Walker Boy Studio. I think they're still a thing. Walker Boy Studio. I found these guys, and they had Learn Unity. It looked different back then, and this was it. This was the one. I followed this thing. Oh, but it was in 3D back then. It was weird back then. It was like a 2D, 3D hybrid, so I think this might be a new one. Either way, they had a tutorial series, and I started following it along, and got to the point where I felt I could do my own project, and then I did that, and that was it. So I've been using Unity for 10 years now. Yes, the 2012 or earlier indie game, the movie. So, yeah. All right, so I think this is pretty much the point at which I think I should go for a walk. Probably pee as well, to be honest. Save the game. I should probably also make sure I update my overrides here. And go on to the next bit. This is cool though. I think this was a good progress was made here. That's one thing I wanted to do, was this quick thing, and I did it, and I think we got a lot more out of it than just making this work, because now we've got some new cool utilities in the utilities thing. Now they're attacking with their melee. You can see because it's a sword. Yeah. Pew 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 pew. And I'm just spamming E here. It's just held down. Yeah, it's probably my keyboard that won't let me do more than a couple. All right. I think, what am I going to do next? What's the next step here? The next step would probably be maybe arrow collision. Also fixing the other bugs. I don't know why this isn't working. That should be working. I don't know what's going on here. Why is there null reference? Oh, is that it? That can't be it. That's it? What's the null reference? Is voice the null reference? Here I said I was going to go for a walk, and now I'm fixing something. Let me pause this. On the player, now Unity has a bug right now, so I can't actually check this. Oh, yeah, I can't check this player. This is the third player, so I can't check it. So, game, player, this inspector's so slow. There's so much information. This inspector slows everything down. Player 3, element, god damn it, element 2, voice. It's missing his voice. This was a random bug before, and it saved it like this, and that I don't know why it did that. So that's what's going on. And so to fix that, we just need to go 228, line 228. 228. We'll say if no voice, then, or if voice equals null, I guess. Voice equals null. Then we'll say debug.log warning, warning, no voice was found, and then we will return because we can't speak. What? Make that same code work for all those things? Yes, well, that actually is one of the next steps, is to make a projectile work. I actually started this because I wanted to make a projectile work. So 3 inventory. All right, so Warning, did not find a line named "This will come in handy." Why is it... Does it now suddenly have a voice? Why does it now suddenly have a voice? It doesn't have a voice. What? Oh, it's not null. Is okay. Is string is null or white space voice? No? I don't know. I'll figure it out. But apparently this time voice is not null. When last time I think it was null. But clearly that means I need to go for a walk. Because it was working before. I don't know what changed. Something changed. I think it's with my saving and loading, perhaps. So I just need to figure that out. Modularize all the thing. Well, that's what I'm doing with the game modules bundle. This is okay. Let's get into the shameless plug area of the show. If you go to infinitybr.com, click the See All Assets button. That is my affiliate link to the asset store, so you can see all my wonderful assets. If you click modules, game modules bundle here, that's what this is. So as I build this game, whenever I can make a system that is helpful, I think, to other games, then I've been basically doing that. So the stats system, the items, conditions, dictionaries, which is built into a lot of different things, inventory, even the movement, it's a small thing, but no big deal. I think I have updated the character creation scene, so I need to update that. Game time, all of this stuff is included in this bundle and is what I'm using to drive my game. There is a handy scripting documentation if you haven't seen it. Some of it's coming soon, but a lot of it up here is set up. We got some video guides, details of what it does, the basics breakdown, and then the breakdown of all the scripts, how to set it up, because some of them do have to be set up a certain way. The inspector, different things there, and then also for the game versions, these are scriptable objects. This is the in-game version. It has a good breakdown of all it does and various methods and how to do things, etc. Then there's some code examples as well. The ones below are old, but this one is a current code example. It's also final stat from a class which has a game stat list, for example. So if you wanted to use the same system I'm using, then you should grab that. I think it makes it easier to set things up. Granted, you have to learn a system, which is not itself easy. I realize that, but once you do, I think you'd find it easy enough because you've got all the objects here. So for instance, with the bow, the short bow, you've got the various, all the different stuff about it, how it does. So this range distance, actually, I don't need anymore, so I'm going to remove that. This can shoot is just, it's a stat, a hidden stat on the player that says, yes, I can shoot. And by having a bow equipped, it means I can shoot. If I unequip the bow, that will now be 0 because it will be removed from the player and it starts at 0. So there's just, it makes it a little bit easier, I think, to work with. It works with the inventory system as well, if you are going to use the inventory system. And then you can do custom dictionary things. So this is where I'm doing these targeting sizes, the velocity, the accuracy value, all the stuff that will be in the game that's just unique to my game will be in this dictionaries here. These are actually lists, so you could have multiple things. So for instance, if you wanted the velocity for whatever reason to be 1 of 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 random. You can call a random one from the list and stuff. So there's just some built-in methods that make things easier, I think, to manage everything and hook them up, especially in an RPG game where things like your equipment affect your stats. Because now when I say, oh, equip, so this player inventory, equip this game item object, everything just magically happens. The stats get updated, everything gets updated automatically. I don't have to do anything in my coding except for saying equip this or unequip this, and all the stats get updated. Same with conditions and modifications and all that stuff. There's a lot more you can do with it than on the surface. It goes deeper, but yes. The knight models. So what you mean, Aaron, is not the knight models, but instead you mean the armor, right? Probably. Armor pack 2. It's inside the giant character complete bundle, which has all of this stuff. Armor pack 2. Aaron, I think you were thinking of this. Is that correct? All of the armor? Or are you talking about the magic ghost knight? You can let me know. And you'll also have to contact me on Discord or email, Aaron, because I don't know how to send you a voucher otherwise. Have you guys seen this? This pack, I think maybe it's in the wrong category or something. I feel like it should sell more than it does because it doesn't sell. That's why. It sold like once this year, I think. But it's in this game toolkits category, and maybe it should be somewhere else. But it's really a great package. It's got some nice helpful tools, but it's basically these lock picking things. It's multiple types of lock picking, cipher locks. This locks, you can customize the cipher inside the stuff inside Painter. It's got multiple faces and keyholes and borders and textures and all that sort of thing. So it's got this kind of one. You can customize the position too, or let it randomize things. You can do just this. So you could attach this to an actual object and then have it be an object. See, there's multiple faces and textures, and there's a button too. So if you just want a button, it gets pressed. Isn't that cool? And then this one's fun, the cipher lock. So you can change these to be letters, numbers. You can actually change the number of them as well. So it's really cool. And then you can change whether they emissive or not. Emissive is nice because it's hard to see without the emissive, but the emissive makes it nice, and you can do things like that. Look at that, see? And you can just, and then it opens. Cool, right? Yeah, more people should buy this, in my opinion. So I think I need to change the category. So if you have an idea of what the category should be, of course it's VR compatible. Almost everything's VR compatible. It should run just fine in VR. You'd have to manage the user interaction, of course, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. The normal maps would, of course, like in VR, not really work well, but aside from that, like Aaron said, most things are VR compatible automatically. Yeah, but you'd have to, yeah. It is like a mini game pack. Like the Skyrim lockpicking is basically a mini game. And, yeah. So I think in the demo scene, it's just arrow keys and whatnot to go from one of these cipher rings to the next. Yeah. There's a handy dandy script with all these instructions and stuff on it. I should go back and see if I can update it all. It's got automatic movements and stuff and all this stuff. Fun stuff. Anyways, I was just looking at that as I was going through the list of the stuff. There's a lot of packs that don't sell. It's really sad. I think when I started, I thought that on average a character would sell 4 times a month. That was my guess. And holy cow, was I wrong. The average is probably once every 4 months on average for anything that isn't the human or the dragon or something. Yeah. Oh well. I still like him, and I'm going to use them in my games, so screw it. The Scorpion is another one that I think is pretty swell, but I need to remake this video. But I just think it's a cool bad guy. But anyways, I'm going to go for a walk. I suggest that everyone goes for walks from time to time. I'm no exception. You've got a newborn? Well, congratulations, Aaron. I had no idea. So, Aaron, contact me on Discord or email, and I'll get you a voucher for that armor pack if you don't have it already. It is a cool package, or whichever other character you want. There's some cool ones out there. Thanks for joining, everybody. Please do hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when I go and stream. I've streamed 4 times this past week. I want to do more. I think now I will be able to do more, which is great. But I often will not pre-plan the streams because I got the day job during the day, and it really depends how that goes and whether at night I've got something that I want to stream and if I'm actually doing coding. So oftentimes when I stream, you'll have 0 time heads up or an hour or 2 heads up. So definitely that bell icon is the way for YouTube to notify, to say, hey, YouTube, notify me when this guy goes on and streams. So there you go. Definitely thanks for coming out. Thanks for your tips. Thanks for your help. It was a tremendous help. And I will see you the next time. Thanks.